All right. Good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Thursday to everyone. Today we are talking with Dr. Joe Utash of Wellness Key Chiropractic. Welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Really fun. I had you on the radio show a long time ago, and I finally chased you down and got you to come on to the podcast.
I'm glad we're finally making this happen. I think we have more in common these days, and as I get older and more gray.
We were just talking about that. I've been coming to you, and you've been keeping me walking straight and upright for about 10 years.
10 years, yeah. I've Facebook pictures and to prove it. But yeah, we've known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
In the same community, kind of running the same groups of people and the same events, and raising families and doing life and business here in Tucson.
Oh yeah, going through those hot summers and those beautiful winters, and you get out on the loop too, and
all
you
the time.
Get to cycle, and you take the whole family, don't you?
We try to, and in fact we purchased our office right on the loop, and
yes.
That was one of the biggest draws to where we're at. Is we have direct access to the loop, and that's where we took our kids in strollers and now bikes and walking the dog, and we're on the loop very, very frequently.
Yeah, I love that. It's probably one of the best things that Pima County's ever done.
I agree.
It really is. And if you are on the loop, you see so many different people. I mean, there's thousands of people use it every day, especially during the winter.
Yeah, and you'll see the occasional motorbike and some very interesting, like, I don't know what look like to be custom bikes. With some are pods, some are shaped like torpedoes and that type of thing. And so
you'll even see unicycles on there once in a while.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah. But one of the things, I mean, you're a chiropractor.
I'm a chiropractor.
And you see a lot of guys like me. So you see a lot of guys in the trade that just beat up their body for years and years and years.
Using your body and I appreciate that. I think the world appreciates what you do, Ron, and Lord knows we need more people who are working with their hands, who are learning a skill, who are able to go out there and communicate eye to eye with people and then solve problems. And I think that's just a skill that we need to keep pushing the next generation to develop.
Definitely, we do. So I'll be looking for your kids to work for us in a few years,
or vice versa. Of course, it's you're living the dream, Ron, and the kids are working the business, and as family business as we have as well. It is a dream to have I have a daughter and a son right now. If they became chiropractors or worked in the chiropractic office or married a chiropractor, I mean that's top. I used to say that was the only choice. Become a chiropractor or marry one. I get it. We're all getting older. Maybe I'm becoming more mature or not. I realize it's always their choice, but man, that sure would be a dream fulfilled if they took over the business that we started from the ground up, essentially.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about chiropractic and keeping your body in tune, because man, there's times where I do something, I turn wrong, or and it's probably a lot of older injuries that just get aggravated.
100%. And a lot of people don't realize it's the things that you brushed off, kind of walked it off when you were playing high school sports.
Sure.
That comes and gets you back when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it's funny, I have some of my patients that are in their 60s, and they're just like walking smooth, no surgeries, doing great. And I ask, what did you do back in high school? And they're like, nothing. And so I know it's a different perspective. It's not necessarily the one that I would even take.
Right.
But they chose at that point in their life, they weren't working out hard. They weren't doing any sports. They didn't get in any major motor vehicle accidents or big traumas. Mm-hmm. And then now at 50, 60, they're like way more mobile because those type of things, they catch up with you.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, my mom was right. When you're younger and you're trying to lift the big weights, those are the things that tend to get you in the shoulder and the knee and in the back later on down in life.
Sure. There's a lot of us with the sports injuries.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so, those are the type of things that we see, usually it's people that like, they want to use their body, and whether it be for pleasure as they're getting older, or because like you and I, I'm bending over patients, you're bending over equipment all day long, lifting heavy things, using your body. We need our bodies to do our profession, to do life better. And that's really our goal, is to help you recover faster, and then ideally prevent some of those injuries from happening in the first place. And, it's recovery and prevention. I think that's where it's at. if you want to talk about longevity, you can't have longevity without mobility, right? Mobility equals longevity.
Yeah. Once you lose your mobility, you lost it.
It starts going down fast. If you know those broken hips as you get older, man, if we can prevent one of those, man, that the quality of the life of that person is going to be huge. And so working on balance, stability, even in your 40s, even in your 50s, those type of things. So you don't have those catastrophic injuries, those hip replacements, the fractures that keep you down for such a long period of time. Or, it's the simple things. They found that people that get like steroid shots in their knees, usually, unfortunately, it's not a one. I wish it was a one and done. That, and I'm not saying steroids shots don't serve a purpose, but usually it's one.
It's like every 6 months.
Yeah, or 3 times a year, and then we know that those things are starting to degrade the joint, and then it's not long before that steroid shot becomes some other experimental thing, and then eventually surgery.
Sure.
And if we can avoid that kind of upstream a bit, then we can save that downstream loss of mobility and quality of life.
Right. And one of the things that I really appreciate about your office is, I think it's probably every year that you guys take photos, you do the X-rays and everything.
100%. Yeah. So it's while we strive to do walk-in visits, the initial visit is never walk-in. At least you're not going to walk onto the table and just get adjusted. I want to get to know you, what's going on, what's not working in the body. And so in our office, that'll start with a little consultation. Hey, what's going on? What's been bugging you? Any other things? Any medications that you're taking? And then like we were just talking about, those injuries that you had 10 years ago are just as important as the car accident you had last week or last year. And so, big injuries, big surgeries, they compound over time. And so what's happening? And then we have digital X-ray in the office. And so taking some posture pictures, some range of motions, taking X-rays, and then usually we take motion X-rays. So we kind of put your body in different positions, and we can see, on surface level, if I look at you and, hey, you can bend over, touch your toes, bend backwards, bend to the side, same thing with your neck and your low back. It might look pretty good, and you can fool me, but you can't fool an X-ray. And so a lot of the time, people, they compensate. And it's, we jokingly say cheat, but really our bodies are so awesome. They're amazing. Yeah. They're adapting to what situation you put them in.
Right.
And so, instead of, if you're bending to your right or bending forward, and let's say 3 of your lumbar vertebra, the bones and joints in your low back, they're totally stuck. If those ones aren't working, the ones above and the ones below have to work extra. And so just like any mechanical part, if they're working extra and they're carrying the load, they're gonna wear out faster. And that's where we see that degeneration. That's where we see the bulging herniated discs. And that's actually one of those big myths that I think is still present, that people come in like, I got this neck pain. I also have this herniated disc, but I know you can't help me with that because of this. And I heard my doctor say this. And I could tell you, I order MRIs every week, many every week. And I would say, unfortunately, probably 75% plus have bulging or herniated discs. This is typically after a car accident, but most of them have bulging or herniated discs. And we're talking sometimes 20-something-year-olds and, of course, 60-year-olds.
Right.
And I can tell based on if that jelly, which is when you have a herniated disc, you have this like a jelly donut. Imagine that.
Right. It's like the cushion between your two.
It is. You have the 2 bony vertebra, and then you have that jelly donut in between. And then the jelly part of the jelly donut, if you have a whiplash type injury or a fall or a trauma, that can, or even just degeneration over time, that can put uneven pressure on that disc, and it kind of squirts the jelly typically to the back into the spinal cord and canal, or to the side into those nerve roots. And that's where we start to see the radicular or the radiating or traveling pain. So if it's in your neck, it might go down into your shoulder. You might get some numbness tingling in your hands in the morning. If it's in your lower back, pretty common, like L4, L5, it might go into like your hips, your butt, down into your legs, like a sciatic pain. It might be like when you sit on the pot too long, your toes start to get tingly. Those are all signs of some bulging or herniated discs. And I would say that if I were to pull 100, people at the mall, can a chiropractor help a person with a herniated disc? You'd probably, they'd probably say, nah, I need to go to like a surgeon for that, or an orthopedic guy, and kind of go through that. I would tell you that, like I said, if 75% of my patients that I take MRIs on have herniated discs, I may co-treat with pain management or ortho, but majority of the time, what they're doing with those type of injuries is a either a trigger point injection, a steroid injection, a facet injection, or an epidural injection. And I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 cases in the last couple of years that would actually require surgery. And most of the time, in my experience, and this is hundreds and hundreds of cases, hundreds of people just like us, surgery was not required. And so we were able to, through conservative care, and again, time, effort, exercise, adjustments, get that body working and moving better. And so again, the herniated disc is still going to be to some degree there,
right,
but the symptomatology, the pain, the radiating symptoms can go away. And I just think that's a huge myth and a lot of suffering that people go through and waiting for appointments and blah, 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 to get into their doctor. And then they wait another month to get into the ortho or pain management.
Right.
When, man, you could probably get an appointment within the same week for a good chiropractor, take some x-rays, maybe bring in your MRI results, and boom, go to town, start working on some rehab, some physical therapy, some adjustments, and save you some of that pain and suffering.
Right, right. And not go under the knife.
Oh my goodness. I think
that's the biggest thing.
I think if we could all avoid going under the knife, we all be a little bit better in here, right?
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I would say, and hopefully now this is changing, that's not common knowledge. When people hear herniated disc or they hear stenosis, they think, ooh, that's, I'm stuck with that for life, or I have to go to a surgeon or pain management, and maybe that can help you co-treat until you get over a hump. But none of those things are, most of the time surgery isn't required, most of the time in my experience. And if pain management, if you need that to sleep, to work, to be able to do life, then great, utilize that tool for a while, but then strengthen, stabilize, and move so that way you can get back to without the medication. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just in the 10 years that I've been with you, my mobility has increased so much, and I'm able to do a lot more things than I could before.
I love that, and so many people. It's consistency, right?
Yeah.
Brushing your teeth once doesn't give you pearly whites, right?
Right.
It's consistency over time. It's whatever we do, with our marriage, with our kids, with our work, with our business, whatever we consistently put time and effort into, that's what we're going to reap those benefits.
Exactly. You don't go into work once a week or whatever, or once a month. You got to go every day.
It's consistently.
Yeah.
We're working on that skill, and over the last, you've seen the evolution of our practice over the last. Now this is next month will be 11 years here in Tucson, and where I used to say, man, I'm never going to see the people after car accidents. I really want people that are just like focused on wellness. And then of course my patients start getting in car accidents. So I start taking care of them. And, and then, my wife and I are over 40 now. And so we're like, oh, there's some new things creeping up. Maybe we want to recover a little faster. Maybe we want to, look a little better as we get older. And so we've added a nurse practitioner to our team and doing things like B12 injections to help with recovery. I personally am doing NAD, which, maybe is not as common. I think a lot of people have heard of B12. Kind of gives you some energy. You can take it in oral form, a little capsule, and you take that, and a lot of people will notice that they have more energy. Me, for one, if I take that, I do feel better when I do take it, but most of the time, my urine's yellow, and you end up kind of eliminate it pretty quickly.
Right.
And which is good because it's, B vitamins are water soluble vitamins, so you can't really get too much of them. I do notice though, when I take an injection of B12, my urine's not yellow. And so that would tell me that my body is able to
to use pretty much all of it.
Absorb it and use it much more efficiently and effectively than oral. And I think most doctors will tell you the same thing. No one likes injections. These needles are super tiny and very thin, so they go in. Usually, you don't even feel anything if you have a good practitioner there. But you get the delivery of it and you absorb it a lot better. The same thing is true with NAD. NAD is over 40. It's a molecule made in the mitochondria. This is getting a little nerdy, but that's the generator. It's the powerhouse of every single cell of every single part of your body. It declines, unfortunately, with age, especially at over 40. NAD can help you. If you noticed, for many listeners who may partake or not in adult beverages, that if you have an adult beverage when you're 20 and you might have 2, 3, 4 beverages and the next morning you're fine, you're working, you're running, and there's no issue.
Yeah.
When you get 40, you start having 3, 4, 5 beverages and you're like, what train just hit me last night? NAD, when I take NAD, my recovery is tremendous. It's so much better. It's faster. My brain fog goes away. I work hard throughout the week, physically and mentally, and I want to still have juice left in the tank for my personal life, for my family.
Yeah.
And NAD has been the big thing for me, increasing that energy, that recovery. And so the way I plan it out is I usually take a B12 injection Monday or Tuesday and NAD on Thursday. And so I can recover for my week, and then boom, I'm like ready to go back. And then I physically recover as well over the weekend. And then Monday I'm ready to go. And so it's been a big part of my recovery, but we've started that. And yes, even weight loss. I know a lot of people, I myself included, were a little skeptical about peptides and weight loss. But I will tell you, man, if you start losing weight, you start feeling better, looking better, you're more inspired to take more appropriate action. We've seen some good results with that in our office as well. And so we have Tiffany. She's a great nurse practitioner. She's in our office. She's able to help us out with that. And again, I have in my office what I like to use personally. And so it's,
and you won't recommend anything that that you wouldn't use personally.
100%.
Right.
And so I always like to say, I practice what I preach, or I preach what I'm actually already practicing.
Right.
So I'm the experimenter, and then as I like the results, then I'll start offering it into the office as well.
Very cool. Well, let's take a quick sponsor break. We will be back in just a couple minutes.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
The monsoon season is here, and Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants you to beat the heat and keep cool all summer long. Now through the end of August, we are offering a $49 diagnostic special. Our highly trained AC technicians are ready to battle the intense summer heat so you don't have to. Call us at 520-492-0748 or PictureRocksCooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon. I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, we are back talking with Dr. Joe Utash. Man, we're talking about a bunch of things off air, but let's tell the listeners out there. We're talking about what we would like to express, and one of the things that you've always talked about to me is sugar. Is sugar just sugar feeds disease? Sugar can feed cancer.
Inflammation, which is, I mean, when I say inflammation, think pain, think bloating, think
your joints,
think all disease thrive in like an inflammatory environment,
right?
And so that just the yucky feeling, like we all know, we've all made those choices, you know.
You eat horrible on a weekend,
oh man,
and then Monday morning
you're like, oh,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've had rounds of teammates where, you know, Monday mornings have been very, very tough because of the choices made on the weekend.
Right.
And so that can affect business. That obviously affects life. That affects their livelihood, affects our livelihood.
Right.
And so it's not just how you feel. It affects pocketbook. It affects your relationships because, you know, when if you are going through some struggles with a relationship and you feel crappy on top of that, you know, you're not exactly at your A game to try to solve those issues.
Exactly.
You might not have juice left in the tank to solve an emotional problem when you're dealing with such a physical problem.
Yeah. And you're talking about brain fog also.
Oh, I mean, we've all had brain fog. It's not fun. You're like searching for that word. You know, it's that computer, the dial-up is just like not happening in your brain.
Right.
And so feeding your body properly, and then sleeping. You got to sleep. We all need to sleep.
Yeah.
If we're not sleeping, you're not recovering, and then the next day is going to be rough.
Yeah.
And especially if you do that consistently over time. Again, that's where disease is going to thrive. And so, you know, we've had lots of nutrition classes over the years. Ron, I know you've attended several of those.
Several, yep.
We have, in fact, we're back on schedule doing one every other month right now. The next one is actually coming up on the 14th of August at 6:15. That's Thursday afternoon. This one, we're kind of focusing on nutrition to kind of help out with recovery and pain.
Oh, nice.
And so really kind of, again, well, of course, we're going to be talking about sugar and reducing inflammation and what foods can do that, what foods do the opposite of that, which is increase inflammation, which would be, again, your sugars and some bad fats. And we can talk about that as well. But when it comes to sugar, it is no joke. And we were talking off air a little bit. But when it comes to dessert, you know, I have kids, I get it. The struggle is real with dessert. We all have that sweet tooth. And, you know, some people, you know, I tend towards, boy, my cheat food is going to be, I could eat like a whole bag of chips, maybe salt and vinegar, maybe barbecue. And my wife, it might be like a dessert. My kids definitely dessert. And so the best time for dessert is not after dinner. The best time for dessert is actually after lunch. And so if you're going to have a dessert a day, you know your favorite thing. Again, it's not about perfection. It's about kind of managing those desires and giving yourself some satisfaction there as well. But if you're gonna have dessert, have it after lunch. Give your body some time to process that, to burn it off. And we know that excess sugar turns into fat. So if weight's an issue, you know, dessert at night is not a good thing for you. If inflammation's an issue, dessert at night is not a good thing for you. You want to really stop eating 3 hours before bed, and that dessert should really ideally be at lunchtime or even at breakfast.
There you go. There, we got permission. Dessert for breakfast.
Which, let's just be honest, the American breakfast is mostly dessert anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
If we look at, you know, some of my favorites, French toast, pancakes, you know, you let some whipped cream and some strawberry sauce on there. And it's syrup. It's obviously cereal. I mean, I grew up on cereal, and
really bad. Yeah.
My parents, they tried to do their best, and at the time, you know, what they were telling us as kids is like, okay, so we have our sugar, our Frosted Flakes, and then we have our regular corn flakes, and so we'd be eating healthy if we had to mix those two. Yeah. So it'd be healthier, and yes, that is healthier, but pretty much, if it comes from a box, it's probably not super healthy for you. It's going to be highly processed. Your body's not going to not going to be able to deal with it as well as something that, I would say, if it's in a box, probably not good, so good for you.
Right. So tell the people where Wellness Key Chiropractic is and when you guys are open.
We are currently Monday through Thursday. We are right on the loop at First in between River and Wetmore, kind of by the Tucson Mall there. And we open as early as 8 a.m., as late as 6 for our patients. Our nurse practitioner is there Monday and Wednesday currently, and wellnesskeychiro.com. Ron, I obviously this is your podcast, but I can't, I'm loyal when it comes to business, and I have a lot of great patients who have been loyal to me, and I definitely want to reciprocate. And, one of the ways that Ron and I have grown closer together is because I have used him for, I think we're going on 5 or 6 ACs now, and it's not because the same one keeps breaking down.
Right.
It's
different locations.
Yes, different locations as they go out, and he's my guy. And so whether it be a rental house or we've moved several times here in Tucson, and now for our commercial property, Ron has been great. And when we have an issue, my team knows to call Ron's team. And so
we appreciate that.
Picture Rocks is the people for us. And he was just, in fact, week before last week.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Middle of the summer. Here we are, 100 degrees, 100 plus degrees. And our AC unit goes out at the office. So that's not something we can mess with. I'm still seeing people. This is our livelihood, and people are counting on me to be open for them.
Right. Yeah.
And so call Ron, and within, 48 hours, we had a big fat crane and unit on a new unit on top of our office. And so we really appreciate what you guys do. We love that we can communicate easily with you, and like I said, you'll be our guy moving forward.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
But it's like I said, it's been a 10-year relationship, so we appreciate you.
Yeah,
as well.
We'll just continue. All right, we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air, we're in a state of disrepair.
The monsoon season is here, and Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants you to beat the heat and keep cool all summer long. Now through the end of August, we are offering a $49 diagnostic special. Our highly trained AC technicians are ready to battle the intense summer heat, so you don't have to. Call us at 520-492-0748 or PictureRocksCooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Our next guest is Coach Zach Neveleff from Tucson High football.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Thanks.
Good, good. I'm glad that you came back.
Yeah, no. I definitely love this podcast. It's a cool atmosphere, and it's definitely fun to be here. So,
yeah, well, thank you.
Getting our name, our brand, everything out there is always good for the community. You know, I know a lot of people rock with the Badgers, so
that's right.
Let's go, baby.
That's right. Yep. And how long have you been with Tucson High?
I'm going on my 3rd year now, so it'll be my 3rd full
Okay.
season. So we're looking forward to it. You know, I'm super excited for these seniors right now. You know, they've been putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right. So
do you have an older team this year?
I do.
Okay.
My line's a little young, but as far as my skill positions, they're all older dudes. They've been in the program for a while. They really understand what it means to work. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And that's great. That's just one of the things being a coach, you get to watch these kids grow up. You know, you're watching them, you're getting them as freshmen or sophomores, and just as they progress, not only as a player, but, you know, they get to mature as a person too.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been a lot of fun, right? Like I always tell everyone, like coaching is not about wins and losses. Like coaching is actually developing young kids into young men in our community, right?
Yeah.
So that's really what I pride myself on is like, you know, what skills can I teach them now that they'll be able to take later on in life? Like the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice,
right?
You know, how to battle through adversity. You learn a lot of those things in football. And if you're good at it, if you're great at it, if you could really understand those things, you could transition all of those things into life, right?
Sure.
To help you with whatever it is that comes later on in life, right? Like I always tell the guys, you know, I don't care what you do after football's over, after your football life is over, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're, you know, a good man, a good father, a good husband, you know, a good son. Those are the things that I want them to be, right? Like I just really want them to be good in our community, give back to the community, and, you know, really be examples of what a great man should be.
Right. And I mean, I've heard stories from you and about you, you know, about your football team and just the way that you guys carry yourself and the character that you help them build.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago, like playing sports and all that stuff. Like, you know, I'm not this big rah-rah guy. We're not going to be this flashy, you know, talk a lot, you know, say all these things. Like, no, help the dude up, you know, keep your mouth shut, and we'll just let our play do the talking, right? Like, I like physical football, right? So when you're playing fast and physical, you don't really have to talk.
That's true. That's true. Your game speaks for itself.
Right. Like, and if we're talking to each other, we're communicating and we're getting on page that way. But as far as, you know, belittling refs or arguing calls or doing all that, there's no reason for it. I've never seen a ref change his mind.
No, doesn't help.
So, you know, we just keep our mouth shut. We battle. We play the way we play. And then, you know, we either win or we lose, but we're going to go out, you know, how it should be.
Right. And like you're talking before, you know, the adversity just, it helps you throughout life. You know, if you can draw back to the days of playing the high school sports and say, well, what did I do in this situation? What did coach tell me to do in this situation? You know, because everyone faces adversity in life, whether it's in your marriage or raising your kids or at your job or something physical comes up with you, you know, because we all have injuries when we're playing sports.
Yeah, no, and that's probably like one of the best things that I got out of last year. You know, our players get asked a lot of tough questions all the time, and I'm always the first one like, hey, get the camera out in my face, go talk to my players, right? They're the ones who deserve it. I don't need to be on the news. I don't need to be all these things. Like, give it back to the players. They're the ones sacrificing so much. And,
right.
you know, like, I think Kevin did a great job of, you know, talking about it last year. It's just like, you know, Zach stays calm through everything. So, like, that really bleeds onto us. Like, you know, when emotions get real high or real low, like, we got to stay level-headed through the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's going to get you through to the finish line, right? You can't get too up when the highs are there, and you can't get too low when the lows are there, because, you know, you're either going to rise to it and then have that adrenaline dump and fall, or you're going to not know how to climb yourself out of it when you get low. So just trying to stay even keel the whole way through.
Yeah.
That's what I think really helps out a lot of people. And then you got to be able to manage those emotions in life too, you know, like,
oh yeah,
when adversity strikes, you can't just freak out and at your job or anything like that. So again, you get all those principles through football, I believe, and really channeling, you know, your anger, your emotions, your feelings in a way that you can express it without going too overboard.
Right.
So.
And there's also some challenges coaching in a inner city school, right? I mean, it's the most populated school in Tucson, I believe. Tucson High?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, they say it is, but I mean, like, that doesn't mean all the kids at our school are playing athletics.
That's
you know?
true.
I think, you know, when you look at a school like South Point, where it's like, you know, almost 85 to 95% of the population there plays
some kind of sport,
right?
Wow.
Our school, we're at like 30-40%. So
wow. Okay.
There's a huge jump off there, right? But you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy it. Like, I love the big campus vibe. Our campus is beautiful. It looks like a college campus. Every time we have, you know, college recruits or anyone at our campus, you know, these college coaches are like, this is bigger than our campus.
Oh,
like,
wow.
what is going on here?
Yeah.
And it's cool. You drive in, you know, right off of 4th Avenue. You come in, you see everything. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's an old campus. And it wasn't always that big. I mean, way back, I think in the 60s, they actually had a street running through it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm always learning more and more things about Tucson High all the time.
Yeah.
I still don't think I've watched Can't Buy Me Love, but you know what I mean?
It was filming when I was there.
Really?
It was I believe my freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my freshman year.
Did you make any cameos in it, or what's the deal?
I think I was in one scene just walking through with the crowd. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But and I think that was the same year. It was the same year that we didn't have a football field because they were rebuilding the stadium, the home side of it, and redoing the track and redoing the football field. So
yeah,
you know, we're practicing like at Cherry Field, and you know.
Yeah, we had to practice at Cherry Field this summer, and it was
really.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow.
They were redoing the plumbing or something like that.
So
we didn't have our football field or our weight room for the majority of the summer. So
wow,
we had to figure out other ways to work out, do things. So I don't know if you've ever spoken to Q Jefferson. He's the owner of the Ruckus Room. He opened up his gym for us for a few weeks out of that time. We went to Tuamoc a lot. Did a whole bunch of different things. And then as far as field wise, we had to go work out at Cherry Field. So our school lined it for us and everything like that. But I mean, we're happy to be home. That is for sure. Happy to be back on campus.
Yeah. I remember it's several years ago when your football field got flooded and they didn't have a home field for that season. They had to play at Keno.
Yeah. That was actually that was way before I got there.
Yeah, that was probably 6 or 8 years ago. Maybe.
You know what I mean? That Keno field is nice. Like I've played on it a few times in rugby. I've coached, you know, on the field. The locker room there, the facilities at Keno is really nice. I would definitely, I don't know. I think that's underutilized for our sports teams. We got to figure out how to utilize that field a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just hard to not have a home field.
Yeah,
you know,
it is hard not to have a home field, but I mean, I don't know. If I was a Pop Warner team, I'd be all over that.
Oh,
place.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you guys already started practice for the summer?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
So we're always going. So Monday, like everyone else, first day of helmets. So we're in helmets now. You know, now we're battling heat advisory warnings and everything's trying to figure out, all right, are we going at 8 p.m. or are we going at 6 a.m.?
Oh,
you know, what can my coaches do? What can the players do?
Yeah.
It's
because most of you coaches have different jobs, right?
Yeah, I actually don't have a single coach that's on Tucson High's campus.
Ah, okay.
So all of us are, you know, You
have day jobs.
Yeah,
to go to.
And everyone has like great careers, right? Like, so like I really pride myself on bringing, this melting pot of coaches as well, because that's what I have as players.
Right.
And I want to show them different avenues. Like me, myself, I'm an owner of a solar company. It's called Rewired Energy.
Right.
It's literally right next to Tucson High. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes, a bunch of the players will actually come work for me during the summer. I'll give them a sales job, like an internship, and they'll just educate homeowners on what solar really is and how solar really benefits homeowners here in our city.
Sure.
And then, I have financial advisors, at Greenberg Financial. He's a business owner in his own right. We have police officers on our staff. Cool. We have, a really good melting pot, people in car sales, people, that are entrepreneurs. I mean, I could go down the list. We got blue collar, white collar guys. Right. So like, I really give them a bunch of professionals that they could look up to.
Right.
And then in a few different industries, like say, college isn't for them. Well, there's other things that we can do to help you be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Not every kid's going to go to college, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful.
Exactly. And there's huge success stories on my coaching staff of that.
And especially if you go into the trades, you know that. I mean, a lot of the people in the trades are getting older, and we need this next generation to come in and take our place.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like and I have that riddled through my whole entire coaching staff. Like I have guys that spent a lot of time in the Marines. I have guys that are in the Air Force, and I have guys that are actually in the Navy as well, right? So it's pretty cool. I one of my O-line coaches, he's hilarious, Paul O'Donnell. He was a former player of mine when I was at Mountain View, but
oh wow.
Big old guy, right?
Yeah.
And when he talks about his time in the military, he was in a Navy submarine. I'm like, dude, you were in a submarine? He's like, yeah, man. 6 months, sometimes we were underwater, not surfacing. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
It'd be pretty crazy. And it was pretty cool. Like, I mean, he has a buddy. I coached him as well at Mountain View. He came over, and he's a Navy SEAL. So
cool.
He came and put us through a workout this summer and everything like that. So it was a lot of fun.
That would be awesome.
It was, it was awesome to watch. I tried to do the push-ups and a few other things. I wasn't going to go do the running with them, but it was cool. It's good team building.
Yeah, it is good team building. And that's one of the big things, especially during the off season, is just doing that team building. Making sure that all those guys are close.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, like that's really a big part of what we do, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to trust the person next to you in
Exactly.
football. And it correlates to life. You got to be able to work well with others. So it's cool, man. I don't think you get that bond anywhere else other than football. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Let's take a quick break, Shay, and we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Let's go.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss out on their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple of weeks. During the summer, enjoy their gift card special. Buy $50 of gift cards for only $40. Stop by and see what's new at Tucson Tamale Market.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
The monsoon season is here, and Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants you to beat the heat and keep cool all summer long. Now through the end of August, we are offering a $49 diagnostic special. Our highly trained AC technicians are ready to battle the intense summer heat so you don't have to. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
All right, we are back talking with Coach Zach of Tucson High football, getting ready for that season. When's your first game?
The 29th of this month. We have our home opener against Mountain View. So super exciting, battling Matt Johnson, a veteran here in town, you know what I mean? State championship winner. He's a really good guy, man. Really good football guy, right? It's a battle playing him week 1, though. Let me tell you, you know what I mean? That's a dude right there. You want to have as much film as you can before you play them,
right?
They do a lot of misdirection, a lot of things. So it's it's a good eye opener week 1 because you're really going to see what your team's made out of playing a Matt Johnson football team and seeing how disciplined you can be. And then it's a huge test for my coaching staff as well because they got to get it together and they got to be able to make adjustments on the fly. So
right, they're going to throw stuff at you.
Oh yeah, definitely. But he's a great coach, man. That's a great program over there. A lot of respect for those guys.
I think most of the coaches throughout the Tucson area you guys are pretty close. A lot of you guys talk to each other and communicate with each other, and probably a lot of you have played with each other or against each other over the years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. Like, I really do enjoy a lot of the coaches here in this town, right? Like from my time at South Point, a lot of those guys are head coaches in their own right now, or have moved on to different places or coaching there. Everyone really in our community is locked in together because I think right now football's dying, right? Like, there's a lot of programs that don't have JVs anymore.
Oh, wow.
Struggling to get kids out there.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, right?
It is.
So, I think everyone has kind of really banded together just to make football great here in Tucson, right? Because we have the athletes. It's just, trying to make sure all of the programs can strive together, right? Strive for greatness, be better, be as good as we can be because, Tucson has a lot to showcase, right?
It does, yeah.
And every school here in town has great athletes, right? It's just us working together to get those athletes out there, seen, visible, and, going up and being able to compete against, the top Phoenix schools.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was such a, I don't know, kind of like a relief for me, just a little bit, when my son he started playing varsity his sophomore year.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't driving yet. And so during the summer, I was taking him practice at 6 a.m. And just to see all those kids and see all the dedication, they're all out there. They're all ready to work at 6 a.m., giving up kind of their summer mornings for the program.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I mean, that's what it has to be, right? Like, when I first got to Tucson High, they told me, there's no way you're going to get these kids here at 6 a.m. I'm like, well, then they won't be playing football because that's when we work out. That's when we're going to make these boys men. And when I first got there, they didn't have a 7th period class. They didn't have football classes or anything like that.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Okay.
So, now we have a football period and all of those things, but before we didn't. So the only option was going at 6 a.m., right? So once I made it mandatory, everyone was showing up, right? The buy-in took a little bit, but if you want to be great, you got to do things differently. And the young guys, my seniors now, they realized their opportunity. They wanted to work. They weren't part of that losing culture that Tucson High had been for the last, few decades. Yeah. So they decided to jump on board, right? And now they're leaders. Now they're always wanting to wake up early. They're always working out earlier. And it's funny now that I have a 7th period class, all these dudes are super high achievers in the classroom that they don't have to take 1st or 2nd period now.
Oh, nice.
So they're off a lot of their morning and they come in. But summer workouts are a grind. We want to get in there early. We want to get them done. Yeah. So waking up at that 6 a.m. grind is just part of football. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Just being super dedicated, getting there early, and then it prioritizes rest. And then we come back for practice.
Right.
And then, it's good, especially at the school I'm at, because I really get to dictate their day, especially during the summer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not going out and partying. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do any of those things.
Right.
One, because they know they need 6 a.m. workout. And if they're not at 6 a.m. workout, they're either running or they're off the team. And it keeps them from making bad decisions, right? And it's just a product of, the environment. It's real easy just to go out with your friends and do all of those things. And that's why I love doing what I do, because now they're like, I tell them all the time, use me as a scapegoat. Like, no, if Coach Zach finds out, that's my ass. Like, I'm not trying to have that happen, right? So, and then you tire them out, because 6 a.m. workouts, they're tough. All the players, they all go out to eat with each other, and then they go home and they sleep for the next few hours. And then they wake up, go to practice, they're tired again, and then they were able to prioritize rest, and they get back to me again, 6 a.m. So,
man, that's awesome.
It works out very, very well for them. They all like it. They embrace the grind, so it's cool.
So you went in there and changed the culture, because, definitely for, like you said, the past, 10 or 20 years, the culture just wasn't there.
Yeah, and it's tough. I don't want to say it's because the previous coaches or anything like that.
Well, they had some turnover too.
Yeah. The senior class that I had 3 coaches, right? They started with Sanchez. They had Malcolm, and then now me. Right. So like it's pretty crazy what they've been able to see since they got there. So. It's just trying to find a good balance for them. And then, changing the culture is hard. It doesn't take a day. No. But, it starts in the weight room. You're able to get that buy-in in the weight room. The product's going to show itself onto the field. Right. And we were able to do that in the first 2 years. First year was shaky, but, we ended on a super high note with a lot of momentum. Coming into year 2, we did things that hadn't been done at Tucson High for 50 years. And I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't know it had been that long since they had won a playoff game or hosted a home playoff game or had that many wins. And I'm like, guys, going to the playoffs that's something that needs to happen. That's the culture. That is the standard. We should always be in the playoffs, right? In my opinion.
Sure.
It's state championship or bust, right? And that's the mentality these kids have to have.
Right.
And that doesn't matter what program you're at in Tucson. You better have that mentality inside of your program, because if you don't, man, it's going to be a long season. Right? So it's like, just getting over that mindset. Like, nope, we're going to the state playoffs. We're going to compete for that state championship. That's the goal every single year. And you're able to take that come January. That's what you're working towards.
Okay.
That's why you're working so hard. It starts in January. You can't. And sometimes it even starts in December. Like, depending on the kid, some of those kids, season's over, last game's over, I'll give a week off, and then we're out there grinding. And then I have a bunch of those dudes who just came back this year that are ready to work.
That's awesome. And do you have a lot of kids that are playing other sports too in the other seasons?
I have a few. I have a few kids that go play basketball, some baseball kids, wrestlers.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a good mix, right?
That's cool.
I have some rugby
That's
players,
good.
some super high achieving rugby players as well.
Does Tucson High have a rugby team?
Or is it not yet. I'm hoping to bring
team?
one back, right?
Okay.
I actually, it's funny because they had a club team, and when I was in 7th grade, I played on it.
Okay.
So Tucson High used to have a club team.
Wow.
So a few of the guys that I played with on that team, they're like always pushing at me like, Zach, like get one back. I'm like, I'm not coaching it, but if I get it, I'll try my hardest to get a rugby program at Tucson High. I just need one of you knuckleheads to coach it. You guys coach it. I'll oversee the whole thing. I'll get all the football players playing in. I guarantee you we'll turn into a powerhouse rugby program, and that's only going to help our football team, right? Because now you're getting 1,000 more reps of catching a ball. You're getting 1,000 more reps of tackling and all of those things, and they're open field tackles. And to be a good rugby player, you have to be able to tackle well and be super conditioned, right? All of those things bleed back into football. So we did a lot of rugby training this year, so it was pretty cool. So
awesome.
We have some things offensively up our sleeves. So
cool.
It's going to be fun.
I can hardly wait.
Yeah.
And your first home game is August 29th, you
August
said?
29th.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we look forward to the season.
Yeah.
Go Badgers.
Go Badgers. Let's go, baby.
All right. That's another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. We'll see you next week.